I don't know how much that victory is going to put them ahead. But regardless, though, Gods, they were getting their trades. They were wolfpacking together. They were adjusting to what Immortals was throwing at them. And that's something Rated R was struggling to do against Double R. So I think Gods might have the leg up here. I think they do have the leg up here. And Vaskar, even though they lost to Fire and Ice, might be a different story versus Rated R.
So 3v2 over here at the home hill, quickly, of Gods. They have to roll out. They're going to try to rotate around the map. Absenz, I believe, is going to go down, but they get the quick pick back up onto him. So home-to-home stretch for the side of Rated R. They're going to have to play some defense, though, because here comes Absenz. He's going to mount up along with Addvers, trying to get the retake here. Scavzy is going to go down after the up A, and that's a quick 2-shot kill for the side of Gods. And now Gods are going to be able to pinch in on A. And you see him trying to rotate back, but there's a down quickly, and they're going to continue to try to Lancer out. They get it down there on Pell. Yachty pushes up with Cellz. Cellz is going to go for this little wrap shot. He's going to get the first one on. Reflame is answering back with 2 shots, 2 downs, and he's going to go down just before he gets the revive. Oh no, almost the hero, but not exactly a 0 as he comes away with still enough damage to get at least 2 kills there in that cubby corner fight. See Addvers mounted up back here at his home, trying to Lancer out onto Pell, and Pell's going to go down because the respawns are affecting the situation yet again. And Gods, they're still holding on to a hill here, and they're going to have to fight back against the tie because Rated R has 1 player sneak over to B Hill, and for all of you at home, sorry that he is not highlighted on your map, but it is over there at the tank fight, and it is a 2-to-1 hill advantage right now for Rated R, but A is getting decapped as we speak. Enemy contact!
And now you got Crabyys going to be isolated. Tough spot, Scavzy on the hunt, and Pell is also going to be there for the finish. So Crabyys will fall, and Yachty now will challenge his Veneer versus Absenz, in which he will win that fight. So Rated R looking good for all intents and purposes. They've got a 20-point deficit, now 10, but they're covering the gap quickly. And Gods gonna have to go and fight for a retake once again, but they don't have the numbers, so they're gonna have to wait just a little bit, so they will lose the point lead, but they're back in the saddle, and it looks like they're going for a bit of a split push. But for their benefit, Rated R is also going to be at a defensive split push. So they're going to have 2 members on B and 2 members on A. So depending on how Gods fights this, and depending on how well Rated R can defend this, it could be victory very quickly for Gods, or it could be Rated R taking a good lead.
Double decap right now on both the hills. They're going for the triple cap domination. They're going to try to push back up into this A hill, and there's the triple cap domination. Scavzy, step into the hill, my friend. It's a 2v1. He can only look at one of you unless he got a lazy eye checking the other one out. The man can only shoot at one of you dudes. Step in behind and get the decap or something. What?
Yeah, that blows my mind too, brother. Lazy eye. That's the best way to describe it. Scavzy, what are you doing, man? He gets the kill too, he gets the knock, but he doesn't get the touch. At that point in time, you just gotta risk it for the biscuit, my guy. Unfortunate circumstances, but not the end of the world. It is, you know, it's a tough loss. I'm not gonna lie. There's no better way to say it. But regardless, though, they were fighting till the very end, which shows great promise for Rated R versus Gods. And at certain points in time, I honestly thought Rated R was going to have their round. I really did. So, hey, doesn't mean that Gods is going to walk away with this with a flawless victory. At least I assume they're not. Rated R has a good fight left in them, but we're going to have a 3v3, it seems, on Helicopter. This is the typical push. Let's see how it goes.
I mean, but with how good Gods is playing, you cannot give them that round. Like, no way, no how can you would give them a round like that with how good they're already playing. Yachty, he's going to get the down on Absenz over the cover. He's going to go for the pickup right here. There's a good kill. He's got Addvers in front of him to worry about, but he's about to get pinched out. There's 1 in front, 1 behind, and he's going to get taken down and out. There's the decap as well. Home-to-home stretch for Gods early in this round. Meanwhile, over at the B Hill, there might be a 1v1 popping off here very shortly.
I think it's definitely going to be shortly indeed, but curious to know, will Rated R, with the numbers that they have, will it be impactful? For 7, though, Absenz looking to maybe challenge on to player number 5, at least calling out numbers. He's going to try and sneak by, but he will be spotted out. Cellz, though, is going to try and fight him back. This is a big win for Absenz, and it is going to be 1 over. So now that's going to open up Bravo. But thankfully for Rated R, Scavzy will go big, take down Crabyys, and they will lock in 1 hill. But now you got a 1v2, and it's haul up the Reflame to try and hold off Yachty as well as Scavzy.
They're going to go for the home-to-home stretch, but here comes the respawns very quickly for Gods, and they've already got 1 down. They're going to pressure up. They get the kill. Now it's a 3v1 to home. This doesn't look like it's going to be a very good fight because you can see them already pushing off towards C Hill. They got a 2v1 at the B Hill, but I don't believe that's not going to win you the round, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to rotate one player back, and you're going to have 2 off a respawn, so it should be a 3v2 over at that. And you should be able to get the mid-neutral and the home for at least a moment. And you're going to have to keep Gods on the back foot this round.
Well, they're definitely on the back pedal. I mean, you can see how far they're getting pushed back. Still, though, Absenz isn't shy. He's going to challenge Cellz in that 1v1. Meanwhile, battle on A is here, and Scavzy will take down Addvers. So this should tip off Absenz to maybe push into player number 5, knowing that it's still a 1v1, but he's going to take his time in the battle for A. Still well underway. Reflame will drop. Can Scavzy get yet another one? He cannot. Crabyys finishes him off, and A is locked in place for Gods, but not out of the woods just yet. Rated R still has the win condition, therefore a break on C needs to happen, but it looks like they're going to get the decap at least. Rated R is going to have numbers, and player 7 Absenz did fall to the hands of Cellz. So Rated R is holding on here, and this might be their round to take.
2-to-1 hill advantage, 2v1 happening possibly over at the B hill, but they've rotated somebody already, and it looks like they're going to rotate a third over there. They try to get to the hill. There's one down, Lancered out, and now they get the second down. I'm not sure if anybody's in the area to be able to get that kill just yet. There they go with the cleanup. So 2v4 on the map officially, over the 200-point threshold, down to 20 seconds. You're going to see what is left of Gods try to push in to get either decaps or to get pressure back on there. And they get D, B uncapped, C's uncapped. They're going to get the 2-to-1 hill advantage, and that's going to be enough for Gods to come back into this round and win it, because by the time Yachty gets to A, he's going to be Lancered down and out, and in 3 seconds, 2-0, we will go. Gods win back-to-back rounds off of late round double decaps.
And also late round, like, double kills as well. Phenomenal job from Gods. Man, it was close, much like round 1 was, but you had a couple of members that popped off, Absenz being one of them, so good on them for doing so. And yet another round, as you said, you can't afford to give Gods. That's a round you must be solidifying for your team, but I don't know. Rated R, once again, a day late, $1 short. We'll see if they can maybe step it up a little bit. Spell, he's going to go ahead and put that, I believe, Talon down, maybe even upgrade to Retro, but I think we'll have the Talon over in Arrival. So now it's going to be neck and neck even on both regards, but man, Gods getting these rounds where they shouldn't be is pretty crazy to me, Colin.
Yeah, definitely. With the way that it's coming out in those last few seconds, those last few moments, and you're like, all right, they should have it locked up. And then somebody pops off. Like you said last game, somebody had to pop off for Rated R to win a bunch of rounds. Looks like the same exact thing is happening in favor of Gods. So sometimes, no matter how it gets done, as long as it gets done, that's all that matters. You're going to see Reflame already with a kill to his name. He's going to actually back down to the middle of the map. Scavzy's going to push up and try to get the Lancer out and get some damage onto somebody. There's 2 downs in the middle of the map. They need to clean them up quickly and try to get their forces around the map to help out who's left. Crabby will win first fight at A. Incendiary out over, or excuse me, flash out over at Yachty. He's going to push up on him, gets the up A for a little bit of damage, the full blast on the second and the kill. Now he's going to have another 1v1 against Pell. It should be more interesting, but somebody's coming off a spawn, and Pell should know this, and Crabyys does as well. As you can see him try to go for the head down play. Doesn't connect with this one, though.
Rated R is going to retake control of the 2-to-1 hill setup, but it's all about how well they can maintain it. They do have a minor deficit, but Gods, they're getting a bit anxious. They're starting to pressure in hard, but they're making it happen, believe it or not. And Yachty will fall. Reflame goes in for the cleanup. He gets it, and now it looks like it's going to be a 2v1 on Cellz as Addvers is going to push up. Another hill is going to be broken for Gods. It's going to be B and C locked in place, and you got Rated R kind of getting pincered in, as you got 3 members kind of all jumbled up, but they're finally going to be able to break out, challenge onto Addvers, who's had to retreat back to tank onto B. So at this point in time, it should be business as usual for Rated R to overtake B, but Gods is already pressuring on onto A.
See Absenz try to press up, flash out toward Scavzy's, but the good Lancer fire from Scavzy as well with help from behind. We'll get the down and the out. They're coming back into this round with a 2-to-1 hill cap. Gods have 3 members spread all the way across the map in very awkward positions. Reflame here at the bottom of the stairs in the middle of the map. He'll be able to flank if he can get. He has to go though unseen, and I think he's waiting, I believe, for player number 3. That's Pell to push up far enough as well. And here he comes. He's going to go for the flank. I'm not sure if they got the call out because he's going to come up those stairs here momentarily, free of charge. He's behind both members. He's going to get one shot on and the down. Pell's going to turn around. Full red is Reflame. He's going to go down. Pell wins the fight out. It's a good trade in favor of Rated R. They're going to go up over 190 points. They should cross the 200-point threshold first. But you see Gods not giving up, and they're nowhere near out of this yet, especially if they can get into the B hill and get the decap. They're still within their rights to come back into this, but as they come off spawn, they're going to get their home. They're going to get B right back up, and this should finally be a round that goes in favor of Rated R. 14 seconds to go. Cellz fighting off 2 members. He's got somebody helping over the top. That's going to be Scavzy. He's double down out. Revive comes through. They're going to get the break. They're going to have to survive 10 more seconds in this round.
That's it.
Are you sure? I mean, I've seen it happen twice.
That's it.
No,
hey, I was holding my breath too, Colin, but Crabyys was the last guy to try and push through 2 members of Rated R. He ended up falling, and therefore that 1 hill was enough for Rated R to take it 1-2. It was close, but you know what kind of saved them that round was, not necessarily a good initial, because remember, they were down about 30 or so points at one point before they started slowly retaking the lead, but it came down to just their overall tenacity to be able to rotate around and take over the hills and just constantly be a nuisance, right? As soon as the team of Gods would, take a 2-1 hill advantage, Rated R was right there to retake it back because they were taking a hill where Gods didn't have presence at. And that's just how Vascar works. And Rated R figured that out, and they were kind of rotating a lot faster and playing the objective game, right? Which, yeah, it was a close round. It came down to the end where maybe some heroics from Gods could have played off, where they could have maybe, narrowly took a victory. But Rated R played the objective game well, and they took it over. No flashy plays, but at the end of the day, they get the W. So we'll see if they keep that energy up.
Off the spawn here, Boltok Retro on the side of Rated R. Over on Gods, they've got the Talon in the Retro, so a little bit of difference in philosophy, hoping the Talon with the close quarters fight will be a little bit better for them. Up 2-1 right now, last round of the first half, before the hills flip over to opposite sides of the map. You can see a lot of damage comes out. 2 down, 1 revive will come through. Yachty gets the shot over the cover. He has a little bit of help from Pell there, and Scavzy. They're going to clean up 3 out of the 4 kills on the map. But Cellz loses the all-important 1v1 at B, so you could push up and try to go over the home hill, but the respawns are going to be coming very quickly, and they're going to actually send Scavzy's over to try to take another or a secondary 1v1. A lot of damage onto Crabby, but Crabby's going to be able to back up. He's got the Talon in hand, so he's going to be able to put a lot of damage downrange very quickly for whoever tries to push him.
And you also have him joined by Reflame and Absenz too. And player number 9, he's kind of just living rent-free at A. No one's challenging him, but he's okay with that because now he's going to be able to rotate down and assist player number 7. Crabyys has a big moment to hold his own here, but he goes in. I don't know what that was all about. He could have just maybe backed up a little bit, allowed Reflame to kind of lance her out, put in that extra chip damage, but he decided to go in for the challenge, throws his life away, and Pell is playing out of his mind. He's 13-10. He's got 2 deaths. Pell has literally been the catalyst as to why Rated R is winning these rounds nonstop, and now it looks as if they're going to be on the cusp of tying it up 2-2 unless Gods can get a break, which they do get a touch. Reflame gets the chunk, but for how long? I think this is it. I think this is where they're going to fall a little bit short, but will they get a touch? They will. How many touches can they get?
Enough to keep this round going for them to be able to pad their stats, but with that final shot out of Yachty on the down on Addvers, 2-2. We'll go to the second half of Vascar all tied up. And one of the things that everybody has to keep their mind well focused on, to me, is the fact that, honest to God, Rated R could have found themselves up 4-2. I mean, excuse me, they could have found themselves up 4-0. Sorry, I'm in my head, sure. I said 4-2, and my brain was like, we ain't even played 6 rounds, Colin. What's your problem? What's going on over there? You're bad at math already. Don't be doing stuff like that. They could have very easily been up 4-0 on the road to a 5-0. Those final few moments that end up coming back to bite them may come back to haunt them if this goes round 9 and they end up losing it. Going to the second half, though, this all-important tank fight over whatever power weapon or positioning. You can see a 1v1 is going to break out at E, and right now this is going to be over for some very early positioning. As you can see, members of Gods actually are poking back over toward the E hill. They look like they're going to mount up or to try to take a 2v1 opposite side of the map over at E.
All right, let's see how this works out. Again, like you said, Gods easily could have been up 4-0, but the point is, or excuse me, Rated R, but they're not. But they continue to fight. They continue to put themselves in a winnable position, I would say. 3v2 now, pressing up baby steps. It's going to be tough. Reflame is there, putting down a lot of damage. I'm surprised no one went on the flank, but regardless, they don't need it. They're just going to go ahead and muscle their way through. They're making it happen. They're getting their trades. But you got Crabyys up there, right? And Crabyys is a tough one to take down, but full red, not a lot he can do. But you do have Addvers as well, who's going to be able to retro out. So this is hugely beneficial. Addvers still holding his own, but it's a 1v3. How much longer can he live here?
See what Addvers is going to have to do. He's going to have to sneak into this fight. He's going to be lost in the sauce. He pulls the retro back out. A lot of damage on his Cellz quickly. Not going to be able to get the down, though, just yet. Scavzy is there. There's the first down. Cellz is going to be full red. Any kind of shot onto him should put him down, but they keep missing. A little pellet here, a little pellet there. He's full red. Finally gets taken down. And that will give Gods their home hill back, but the 2-to-1 hill advantage will go back over to Rated R as they're getting the E hill there. They have 2 players over there as well, and they need to get this 4th player off the spawn to try to help out their home hill because Gods are very quickly going to push in onto F, and it looks like they might even bring a 3rd player over to try to push across. I think Rated R has to put somebody on that ledge across the map to try to shoot across, but they don't have anybody there yet, and that's going to give Gods the easy walk into the park, onto the F hill, and the decap, and the retake.
And Addvers Hammer Burst is just peppering the boys of Rated R, softening them up for Absenz to theoretically get a chunk, but forced to back off. He will get picked up, but at this point in time, Rated R is looking to brute force this hill once again like they've done before. But one thing Rated R has been doing so well, and the reason why they're catching up in this overall map here on Vascar, is their ability to be able to constantly rotate, constantly get on the objective. But at a certain point, they might start to fall behind, and this could be that moment. Look at the score, so close. Gods leading the way in the points, but they got to break out. They got to get on these hills, but this is their moment to do so. And it almost seems as if they're going to at least, or for Rated R, they're not worried about F. They're worried about E, and that's where their push is going. For Pell, he'll fall a bit short. Despite his heroics earlier, it won't be enough in that situation. Domination being threatened here, but it's going to be short-lived. But for Gods, they're okay with that because they're about to apex the 200 mark, putting them that much closer to winning this round.
1v1's won over at E by Scavzy. Now Scavzy's going to have a second 1v1. Cellz is going to get picked off there at his home. Absenz with the up A will get a second down there onto Pell and the kill. So as good as he was in the first half, he is just not living up to that hype, and that's going to lose them the home hill again. So Scavzy's some beautiful heroics over there at the mid-neutral hill, but it's just not going to matter as much. 15 seconds in this round for Gods to take their 3-2 round count lead, and you can see Cellz is going to push back up into the same area, get crossed out. He could go down very quickly again. But, I mean, Gods are not even pushing up. They know they don't have to get these kills. They just have to keep the hill that they have. They have to keep their home, and in 5 seconds, they'll have the lead and the round victory.
All right, Gods will take this round indeed. Like you said, Rated R, just too much ground to cover, and it was just a little bit too much. With Cellz getting a couple of eliminations too, I believe it was Addvers who was able to pick up a couple of kills. That was big. So we're heading into round number 6. Very close map count. That hammer burst for Crabyys. And go ahead and give it to that ensign. And honestly, that hammer burst was hugely valuable. But regardless, though, the ensign will make a huge difference. It looks like we're gonna have a retro on the other side. Maybe even a power weapon placed down onto tank. They're thinking about it. They're putting a lot of thought into it.
Retro will be placed down over there. It's gonna give them the opportunity to get some of that extra damage coming into those next fights.
Watch me work.
Or Rated R. Meanwhile, Gods, they're gonna mount up that incendiary. Both teams mounting up incendiaries, both teams with retros as well. So standardized meta across the map for both teams. They know what they want to play with. They want to know what they come to the fight with. Here comes the flash. Here comes the extra push from both sides. Pell's going to try to block off the stairs, and he does so successfully against Craby. That's a big player to take out of the fight. Reflame is pushing all the way up. He gets 1 kill. He gets 2 kills. Reflame, man on a mission, will finally get taken down. That's the trade you need for the side of Rated R. That's a 2-2 trade. Meanwhile, the 2-1 hill advantage is in favor of Gods, and they've got forever and a day to wait for both the respawns to come back for Rated R and for them to move into position across the map to even try to push back against the tide here. And I think you're going to see them mount back up. Craby's going to push right back up on the Pell, and they get the kill on him. You lay them out to dry, and Cellz has to watch his teammate go to the wayside. That's going to open the lane right up for Craby to push in and take another 1v1, which he is absolutely specializing in right now.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he's been doing it consistently, right, throughout all of Pro League and even in E-Days as well. It's kind of like a dyslexic. You just kind of let him loose, right? And he just goes out and slays, and he's kind of always specialized in that regard. Either way, Gods, I'm impressed. They keep holding on to this 2-1 hill advantage, but it might come to an end here as Scavzy will walk through Crabyys, and finally Rated R will take the 2-1. But you do have player 2 is being isolated, but he's holding his own momentarily. He does get a trade, but eventually will fall to the hands of Reflame, and that's going to open up E for Gods. But for Rated R, they're not going to waste any time. They're going to be on all 3 hills momentarily. They're really trying to retake control, and they can. They're only down about 20 points, so the potential to come back here is absolutely here.
They have to be very careful. They got to take these fights pretty pristinely, because one of the things that I don't want to see happen is them carelessly push up, leave teammates out in the open, and lose them to more 1v1s or more silly mistakes. Meanwhile, a 1v1, like I said, is about to break out. Yachty's going to have to back up, and I think he needs to call for some help. He's in a 2v1. Reflame has all the damage in the world on him, and there's the down, and that's going to put him on the back, and that's going to give up the home hill of Rated R.
Tough break for them, and again, Gods catches another break, right? And that's going to be tough for Rated R to come back from, despite being down. Now they got to wait for numbers, but look at them. These 2 members, they're getting pincered. Nothing they can do. The Lancer Fire, too strong, and they get put into the blender. Now you have Yachty and Pell coming off the respawn, but they're forced to split because they know they're in dire straits. So Pell is forced to try and challenge a 1v2 on D. Player 2, Yachty, he's going to be able to get onto E, but it's going to be short-lived because now he's going to be in a 1v2, and if Absenz, he might even be able to clutch it up here, and if he can do so, that's going to be huge. The instant gets thrown out, and Yachty's going to drop, and now that opens up a free lane to get onto E. Rated R is playing catch-up, but they're not able to catch up, Colin, and because of that, Gods, they're going to be leading 4-2.
Finish line just a little bit out of reach for them in this round, and like you said, 4-2. They have taken a pretty commanding lead over this map, and it seems like every time Rated R thinks that they have the right idea, it's just not coming through for them. They don't capitalize on the right fights. They're not rotating around the map near as well either. And Gods are showing just how good they have been playing all night long. And at this point in the Challengers, pretty much all season, like they've continuously improved every week to me. And then they've come out this week to show that they want to win the whole kit and caboodle. They want to come away with the maximum amount of points, and they want to show that they not only belong in Pro League, but they're going to make waves in Pro League.
Oh, 100%. You know, I think one of the teams that they've been consistently battling against is Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice, for all intents and purposes, is a better team than that of Gods, right? But if you pin them against Hive, I think it could be a great fight. Even now, you put them against Rated R, it's a great fight. You put them against any other team out there, I think they'll do fairly well. So they're a team you can't sleep on. And that makes me excited because, again, I constantly say it, right? I'm a fan of Crabyys. I've been watching him, whether it be from the Challengers series, he's made his way up into the Pro League, and he played fairly well with Fire and Ice on his first Pro League roster. So it's just a team that I want to see have success. And I think they're well on their way to doing so. And I think Crabyys is finally catching a break, much like, you know, he didn't get with Elevate from before. But hey, the round's not over yet. I'm getting a little bit carried away, Colin. We're still playing it out, but that's a great instant that was thrown out. Cellz, and will connect onto Absenz. Is going to go ahead and dip out for the time being, concede this tank fight. Rated R is going to have ENF locked in place. Reflame doesn't matter. He's going to push straight through the flames and maybe challenge onto Pell here. This is going to be a tough push for them. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it happen.
See, Reflame rolls back now. He has 2 in front of him. They keep stepping up the cover. Good little back and forth, a little bait and switch, but it's not going to be good enough. Not today. The double shots from the shotguns will get the downs and damage for Rated R. They have the 2-1 hill advantage. They will be able to press up. They're going to try to make this 4-3 very quickly. Absenz caught between a rock and a hard place. Everybody that could come off of respawn is not there yet. And a good enough amount of kills and pressure comes through for Rated R finally. There it is, their first round back into this one. They got to win 2 more to win map number 1. Right now, though, like you said, might be getting ahead of ourselves, but this is going to be a fantastic look at how this team, what kind of composition this team has. I say composition, what kind of composure? My goodness gracious, Colin. They got to have composure in these next 2 rounds because they're down 4-3. They have a really good round right there, but it comes on the back of some pretty pristine back and forth play where you saw them drop down and have to stand back up. All they had to do was make the shots on those players trying to hop up that cover. So they got to keep hitting their shots. Also, I like that. Double utility nades.
Okay.
Crabby,
double, yeah.
Crabby goes with the frags. Oh my God. Yo, we got more grenades on the map. And Carter's got liver pills, my man. That is insane right now.
I love this. What we got? 2 Ensigns, got the shot, got the frag. The retro is the only outlier, and God's going to use that to their advantage. This is going to be some wild stuff. I love watching frags on the map. We don't get to see them too often, but we're going to get to see them now, absolutely. And for Rated R, they're prioritizing them. They want these nades. They want to be able to utilize them, and that's going to be hugely beneficial in opening up a door here. Absenz will connect onto Yachty. Pell is also going to fall too, and should be finished off relatively soon unless he gets picked back up. But he's just about no man's land. Shock is there. So Absenz, he's forced to back up. Scavzy's going to challenge. This is a great start for Gods, and we could be looking at a quick 5-3 if Rated R's not careful here. Someone's got to get a touch. Player 2, you got to push in. Yachty, what you doing, buddy? But either way, that's going to be it. 5-3, 40 seconds, and map number 1 goes to the way of Gods.
Like, I thank God that this desk is too heavy for me to flip over. Because you sent 3 people at frag nades. You sent 3 people to frags. You had one person call out the retro up top on a ledge and starts lancering him. So the retro can't just stop and pop your frag pick. The guy up top is not going to be able to down 2 of you consecutively enough to not stop you from getting frags. So instead of sending 2, a body block and a pick, you send 1. The other person up top, the other person that goes up top gets picked by the incendiaries of God. So now you don't have a chance to pick frags because now it's a 2v2. What was the point of sending 3 to that side of the map? Just to protect frags, to look at them and be like, man, they pretty on the ground, man. You see them over there? They look so good. Like, oh, God. Thank God I can't flip it. Thank God.
Well, hey, dude, I agree, though. Like, why weren't they in the inventory? It's just a waste. It really, truly was a waste. I don't know, man. A lot of good moments from Rated R, but a lot of whiffs as well. Objectively, I think they played very, very well. The rounds that they were able to take were on the back of very close rounds, but nonetheless, still rounds they were able to win. I don't know, man. Whether it be Scavzy not getting the touch in that one situation, remember that round, and of course, Yachty in the end not getting the touch as well, not challenging. It's just a breakdown of communication almost, it seems. So something definitely they're going to have to improve on. But either way, winning your map pick obviously feels good. And the most important thing too, and I think, you know, a huge positive, but a huge negative, a positive being for Gods and a negative being on the other side for Rated R, is because Gods wins Vascar, we're almost but guaranteed to go into Exhibit. And that hurts, man. That hurts because Gods have been playing so well, as we said, on Exhibit. So it's just an uphill battle for Rated R at this point.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure something out. I'm almost at a loss for words because of that last round. Rated R has to come out in this second map. You say we're almost guaranteed to see Exhibit, and I'm over here like, the way you lost that last round, I don't know if you got the momentum to win Foundation now. Like, I don't know if you have the energy to do that and come back with the way that Gods is playing. I think Gods is going to continue straight on this train track, man. They are fantastic. They're playing fantastic tonight. Every time they've had to rotate somebody around the map, get somebody extra into a fight, they've done it perfectly. I know it was only a 2-round differential. It's still 5-3, but I need to see more out of Rated R. There's a lot of plays that are I don't want to say amateurish, but they're amateurish, man. You got to clean those up.
Well, and I think that's why the series versus Double R was a lot closer than it should have been, right? I mean, you put Double R against Gods, I think Gods, you know, has their way with them. I really do. Despite me being very impressed with Double R, and I still am, and a team that I want to see, you know, playing the LCQ and continue their battle to be a pro league team, because I think they could do fairly decently at least, or at least be a middle of the road team. But yeah, Rated R. Again, now as we push into Foundation, the only thing they can think of about amateurish plays is, like, again, Pell pushing those fights where he shouldn't be, right? Overextending by himself into a 1v2 or 1v3. That's a moment that could really swing the round against you, right? Swing the round in the favor of the enemy team. And for Gods, if they can isolate Pell, take him down, which, by the way, Pell played so very well on Vascar. He played out of his mind. But you take him out of the equation because he's constantly pushing 1v2s or 1v3s. I mean, that's going to be a huge loss for your roster of Rated R. It's going to be a tough win, but the only light here is the fact that we have watched Rated R win tonight on Foundation 5-3, and when I have watched Foundation be in play between Hive and Gods, Gods did lose 5-2 to Hive. Take that for what it's worth. Hive has been playing very well, but we've had a couple of weeks since then for Gods to improve, and improve, I think they really have. They're not the same team they were a couple of weeks ago, so we'll see if their Foundation game picked up. But for Rated R, this is their map pick and a must-win to keep the series alive.
Yeah, and you said it right there. It's a must-win, and I think what you got to do is you got to be a tone setter. I mean, last time when you were playing RR, you were able to come away with a couple of extra kills here, a couple of extra kills there. It was a great play mid-map where you threw the smoke at the bottom of the stairs, you baited somebody to come through the smoke, you double lancered him down and got the kill. You're going to need to see a lot more of that, where they bait and switch players, where they're playing with one another. And right off rip, I'm going to go ahead and say it, if Pell pushes top street in 1v1s and then somebody rotates out of the fight and you either don't get the information there quick enough or he gets 2v1 because you're just not fast enough on the chase, that is bad news bears all day long. I cannot stress this enough. One of the things that is separating the men from the boys in this pro league is literally the communication and the quickness at which you rotate to help your teammates out. You are leaving too many people out in the desert with no water and the sun's about 140 degrees.
That's the best way to put it, honestly, and that just kind of shows how critical it could be if that player makes that error. We'll find out, though. You know, that was last series. Will this series be the same? You would have to think not. Obviously, these teams are going to be improving round, series to series, map to map. So let's find out how this goes. Off the start, though, it is going to be our Board of Gods, as they look like they were going to take an early lead, but it looks like Rated R answers back. Cellz able to win that fight versus Absenz. That locks in Piston Drew, but in that mid battle is going to be Scavzy, and Reflame has an opportunity to maybe get 2 players here. Scavzy gets to clean up. Lancer fire is real. Crabyys, though, is isolated. And look at this, man. A great start for Rated R.
Absolutely fantastic start. Like I said, it's got to be a tone setter round for them. They cannot come out and let Gods take advantage of any of their fights or any of their positions around the map. And yeah, you get there on the B hill, which prolongs the round a little bit, and now you're going to be able to fight off toward the home hill. So good job by Gods to not just give it up. They're not just forfeiting the round out. They're not going to go down 1-0 and be happy with it. They're going to force out the next couple of fights. They get the home hill back, and they get a kill there on the Rated R. So this could easily flip back on its head. It's only a 50-point differential.
I hope it does it for the sake of Rated R, right? This is a round that Gods, if they can put this momentum back in their favor, it's going to be truly heartbreaking with that start Rated R have, but they're making it happen, right? Crabyys is there, the B hill is being broken, and now you got Rated R. You got 2 members. You got player 0, that's Cellz, who's now pushing into a 1v2. He's going to drop off. Player 9 can't get anywhere close, and Yachty will fall. This is all but over. Gods has flipped the script. Like you said, 50 points down, but it doesn't even matter. They get the domination and the hump in the end.
All's good. All is happy. Oh no, we've overstayed our welcome at the home hill. Oh no, we lost another player in the mid cut. Oh no, we're losing B. You have to learn when and where to take those fights. If somebody dies at the home hill going for the triple cap domination, roll back, pull out your Lancer, and just forfeit the round. Not forfeit the round, but forfeit the hill out and force them to be perfect the rest of the way. Instead, you lose 2 people very quickly. It opens everything up for the rest of the map and the rest of the team fights. So now you've caught yourself between a rock and a hard place, and all you've done is give Gods the window to crawl back into the fight.
Truly a heartbreaking round. It really was. And now, Gods, you'd have to assume, has all the confidence in the world. You said round number 1 needed to be a trendsetter. Well, that wasn't it, despite a great start. What's a 60, 80-point lead if you don't win the round? Well, we'll see if round number 2 goes a little bit better for the boys of Rated R, and it starts off with the initial once again, and this could really set the pace, and already they're going to be on to B, so they might have a good chance at locking this down. Absenz is going to be there with the Bolt Talk, getting some shots on Cellz, but it's not going to amount to much. He's forced to kind of dip out and break off. On the overextension, though, is going to be Addvers in a 1v1, and bit of a misroll, and Scavzy will hold his own. A great hold, but is it going to be worth it? Look at this. Gods is now breaking in, winning the fights onto B, and they're going to lock in the neutral.
They are going to continue to lock in that neutral and push across the map. You can see Craby's already trying to take over the foundation and be able to push over. And that positioning from Crabby, if they have that opening, and now Craby's going to sit down. I love that play by Craby's. We're going to be on the opposite side of the map. Scavzy is going to be in a fight. They're going to roll back, trying to take this home to home. Meanwhile, 2 players are going to be trying to take over the B. 1 down and a kill for Crabby, which is going to slow up the retake of B. And now Gods have their home hill back, which is going to allow them to play even more defense. Sneaky Beaver in the middle of the map, though. Pell will get a kill. He's going to try to push up that ramp, but it's not enough. Crabby 1v1 at B against Cellz. Cellz is going to take that back table, and he's actually going to push out toward the B hill because Craby's going to rotate out to try to help get this kill here on Pell. Pell's caught between a rock and a hard place. He's in close, and a couple of different people can Lancer or shoot at him, but he finally gets some rotational help. Crabby, though, will win another fight on Yachty. So look at the way that Crabby is playing for his team. He's not just playing for his 1v1s and winning them. He's playing for his teammates. He's getting to the next fight very quickly and is always getting to a position to be able to help his teammate out.
Well, that was something we highlighted too, right? In the previous matchup versus Immortals, even on Exhibit, you looked at how many times Gods was able to get the pickups on their down teammates. And that makes all the difference in the world. If the enemy team isn't getting the finishes on you, you're going to be in a lot better hands. But Gods now going for the domination, and they're going to get it, Colin, 2-0. And again, like you said, Craby's playing so very well. And I think that's what makes him one of my favorite players to watch out for. Not only can he play as an individual, as a selfish player, he can also play as a team role. And when he does, I think his skill set is kind of elevated in a way, right? He's there not only to get the kills, but also the team pickups. He's getting the maximum value for his team. And any time that you're able to get that pickup in a 4v4 situation, man, and put yourself in a 4v3 or 4v2, it just betters your chances of getting a domination or getting the hill or getting the power weapon. Very well done from Crabyys. Very well done in general, all around for Gods.
And they are well on their way to a 2-0 and a fantastic finish to their Challenger Series tournament. See them up 2-0 already in the second map. Voltox out for both teams. Talon's out for both teams. Yachty tries to take that closed area behind that pillar. Reflame goes to the up A. They trade out, though. They're going to have the down. Craby's going to finish him off. Scavzy's going to have to push into the cave. 2v1 here in the cave on Absenz. Absenz, I believe, hits that first shot with the Voltox, and he actually rotates out. He's not just taking the fight. This is some of the things that we've talked about. They've got the triple cap domination going. Mr. Krabs plays about to have
That's it. That's
going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. 3-0. Gods. Another round just outsmarting Rated R. Uses their over-aggression to their, like, they see Rated R as being overly aggressive, and they use it to their own advantage. They say, you can go ahead and chase the kill. We don't need the kills. We need the hills, my man. We need the hills.
And at this point, man, you just, honestly, the best option is to force a fight somewhere, right? You have to force a fight on Statue, Pistons, mid, I don't care. Most likely going to be Statue, but there has to be a key point that forces Gods to go head-to-head with you. They're not going to afford missing out on the retro, but I honestly feel that is kind of a mistake in my opinion. I almost wanted to see a long shot or a torque because this fight hasn't worked in 3 rounds in a row, and it's just not working. So I think Gods is, once again, it's going to be business as usual. They're going to be able to take round number 4.
Gonna have to push up here. You see them already stacked up. Rated R lancering out onto Crabby, trying to keep him up in that cubby corner. Not gonna be able to get so much damage. We go down here to the B hill now. Reflame will win the first fight there against Cellz. He's gonna push up to the foundations. Good little positioning. He's gonna be able to rotate out and around and onto Scavzy, who's stuck in the middle of the map between a rock and a hard place. Crabby, meanwhile, is going to be in a 1v1 of his own, trying to push up. Absenz has that 90-degree with the Voltok. There's the down on Scavzy. Uh-oh.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
You don't need to? I think you don't want them to. I mean, they know what's happening right now. We all see what's happening.
We definitely do. We definitely do. But hey, remember monkeys as well, all right? From old PK or from PK roster in general, but that 5v5, he did a little bit extra humping on Vaskar, and that resulted in the round L. So you better be careful. And if you're going to show love, you better make sure you're capitalized. But hey, you do have the 3-0 lead. We know what's happening, and it's Gears of War. So love, it deserves to be shown. Oh, whoa! Crabyys has a player just vault over themselves, and I thought Crabyys was going to turn around and get the chunk, but hey, Crabyys just got thrown for a whirlwind and said, hey, you want to give that extra love? I'll give it right back.
But look, they take over B with a 3 versus 2. They give up a 2v1 at the home hill. They give up the home-to-home stretch, and already back off of respawn. All 4 players are up. Now Rated R has to rotate back around the map again. They're going to have to put 2 to 3 people on their home. Reflame pushes up. He has Lancer out, so he has the wrong gun out to be able to really play the close quarters combat fight. Pell's going to push to the top street with his retro out. He's going to get down by the retro of Addvers. They're going to try to answer back and answer shots. There goes the shotgun battle, but the rotation from Absenz once again. Teamwork of Gods, just too much to handle, too cold to hold for the side of Rated R. There goes Crabby. He loses a 2v1 finally. No, he doesn't yet. He's still down. No, there's the revive. 2v2. By God.
Scavzy. Colin, And I'm going to go back to what we've been saying since Exhibit. What makes God so strong, what makes God so strong is their ability to save their teammates and put them back in the fight. Whether it's Crabyys doing it, right? Whether it's Addvers doing it. It's so critical that the teamwork makes the dream work. Gods understands this, and that results in a massive lead. But hey, for Rated R, they're not going to give it up just yet. This is their final push.
They're going to have a final push 15 seconds before God takes a 4-0 lead. There's the love. It's over for this round. Chalk it up. I'm renaming gods, by the way. They're not gods anymore. They're the flock of seagulls because they run so far away. They run to every fight all night. That's already taken. I don't even care. I don't even care, son. Like, these boys are so fast at getting to every team fight. And look at it. They're not even taking... Like, they're taking it. Oh, there's the decap. It's just. Oh, no, there we go. There we go. That's fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine here. Like, what is.
I don't know, man. I like gods more than flock of seagulls. I get the concept, but brother, you know what? I hope they do it. I hope they become the flock of seagulls because that'd be a good meme.
You know what, though? The other meme I'm going to come out with, though, this is a lot like, you know the movie Troy, right?
Yeah.
This is that moment where Gods is playing against Rated R, and you know how at one point in Troy, like Orlando Bloom gets his butt whipped, and the guy's like, "This is what you left me for." Gods is looking at Rated R right now, and they're like, "This is what you chose. This is what you chose over us."
That's such a good movie, man.
I love you, Rated R LLC, by the way. Shout out to y'all for staying in the gear scene, coming back over to NA and picking up the squad. But I'm just saying, Gods is trying to let y'all know.
But you know what? At the end of the day, congratulations to Rated R for, being a Pro League team again, right? I mean, that is massive in its own rights. But I think this is going to be a huge wake-up call for them to know that Gods isn't even the strongest roster out there, and we're struggling greatly versus them. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, figure something out, because Pro League is going to be a struggle and an uphill battle for them constantly if they cannot make it happen. But for Gods, though, they're well on the way to being a dominant team. We'll see if they're going to be able to do so. Either way, though, look at this, man. Great push from Gods. And that Wolfpack is just making it happen. And Rated R is trying to pull a Gods-esque kind of style where they're getting the pickups, but it's not working as well as it does for Gods. Neutral's going to be locked in place. F is it's just a stone throw away. And it really comes down to Yachty winning this 1v1 versus Addvers.
Worst case scenario, Yachty has to prolong this. He has to keep this from coming back to bite him. He goes to the up A on Addvers. Oh my God. Addvers gave him the no-no.
Gave him the no-no. Hey, it is what it is, man. You live by the sword, die by the sword. Colin, you love to say that, right?
Right now, Rated R is dying by a hell of a lot more than the sword, right?
Spear, the sword, the dagger, the combat knife, everything. But hey, look at this. Rated R are picking up some big wins, and they are turning this around. At least it's a start, right? But Reflame, 1v1 versus Pell, who's been playing lights out at least on Vascar. We'll see if he can do so in this 1v1. Great shot hit on both regards. Both players weak, and Reflame will hit a nice shot to bring him down. Crabyys is there for the pickup, of course. Would you think that Gods is going to be playing this alone? Absolutely not. And some more humping will ensue.
Yeah, they're going to definitely continue to show the love. They're trying to tilt out Rated R. This is one of those things where you're going to try your best to make them so unstable, but that even if Rated R make this 4-1, it's almost impossible to make it 4-2 because you're just going to start taking the stupidest fights. You're going to start doing the worst things. Scavzy's giving him the emo because he's like, bro, it's a 3v1 over here. Like, I've got no help. Finally, somebody comes off small. That's Yachty. Yachty pushes in, and Scavzy left him in a bad position. Too busy emoting, not busy enough fighting for your teammate. This is not what you want to see out of a team that's trying to make it into the Pro League. These are the kind of plays that you need to be able to clean up to be able to win those matches late in the season to try to get the best seed going into a playoff or a major. Oh my God. Yeah. Literally turn and burn. Literal, by the way.
And then little trades come out there as well between Crabyys and Pell. Domination coming in. It's not going to happen, but we'll get to see what Absenz can do here in the 1v2. That's one. Can we get a second onto Cellz? We cannot, but even so, wasted enough time for Gods to continue to accelerate their lead, accelerate their way onto a quick 5-0, 2-0 series count, and an overall win here in week number 3 of the Pro League qualifiers. They're just about there, and Reflame, he'll live up and go true to his name. Burning held to a crisp and we're well on our way to that 250 mark.
Cellz is going to try to push up that ramp. Not necessarily the smartest play in the face of two Lancers. They've got the flank from Yachty now. Yachty's going to come from the front. Cellz will win the first fight. Now they have a 2v1 at the D hill to try to get the decap here. Now it's a 1v1 as Addvers gets the kill on Cellz, and Addvers he's gonna go fishing. He's going fishing. You see his lure out there. And what they caught was a rated R dead in their sights. They get the 2-0 map count victory with a 5-0 to close it out. Beautifully done by Gods.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you didn't think Gods was a strong team after that Immortals matchup earlier in semifinals, you have to think they're a strong team taking down Rated R, another Pro League team officially in the way of a 5-0 and 5-3, 10-3 overall round count. As a matter of fact, if you add all of them, it's 20-4 round count for the night. That is an impressive stat line to go 20 wins and 4 losses in the overall round count. But hey, you couldn't ask for more. And is it really that surprising? Gods, once again, have been playing so very well, whether it be during Emergence Days versus FNI, or whether it even be in the Scrims versus Rise earlier, which of course was unofficial, but Scrims. And then of course, tonight in week number 3 of the Pro League. But even though Rated R ends up losing that series, Colin, they're still a Pro League team, and you got to hand it to them. They had to battle tooth and nail to get to this point, and they made it happen.
Tooth, nail, and everything else by the skin of their teeth. They end up making it into the Pro League, and they solidify, one of those 4 spots that we've made happen here in these Challenger Series tournaments week in and week out. I believe the other 3 that are coming out, I know Gods is definitely one of them. I know that, and I think we got Fire and Ice and Hive as the other 2. But right now, let's focus on these 2 teams for a second, Colin. Gods is looking strong. They're not limping in the Pro League, all right? Rated R, on the other hand, this is one of those things where I don't know. I don't know how much VOD review they do. I don't know how much they sit back in the lab and try to take a look at things. This is one of those instances where you've got to learn from your mistakes, but they can't be like, yo, you pushed that without having any help, or I called this out and you didn't do it. This is where it's a tried and true method. You sit in front of you sit in a group call or a group chat on Discord, you turn the VOD on, you have the voices turned on, so you listen to the call outs, you listen to who pushed here and who did what where, and Rated R has to go forward into the Pro League now, cleaning these mistakes up, because they took so many 1v1s that they didn't need to, so many 50-50s. They pushed so many 2v1s where it's like, oh, I'm going to be a hero, and you end up a 0 because you're now throwing away your life. You're making a 3v4, and they're going to be able to push across the rest of the map and kill your teammates. You've got to clean these things up. This is a learning experience for you. On the opposite side of that coin, for Gods, this is a vacation for you almost tonight. 20-4 round count. My God, dude.
Yeah.
Keep that up and make everybody regret that you're not the top tier echelon org in the scene that's putting everybody else on notice.
And more importantly, right, at least tonight, and even in the Scrims versus Rise, it shows that, okay, if any team plays Exhibit versus them, right, they're going to have their hands full. They are a great team at Exhibit. You look at Rebel's a great team at Exhibit, right? I mean, just obviously they've been playing that very well. So you have certain teams that are just great at Exhibit, and it kind of goes back even to 5v5, right? You had UIU, who used to be phenomenal at Exhibit. You have PK that was great at Exhibit, right? So some teams are just lights out on that map, and well, for Gods, they could be one of those teams. And even Foundation, that 5-0 victory speaks volumes about their ability to be able to play that map. They went undefeated on Foundation tonight, right? So the point is, they look solid on 2 very strong maps. Harbor, they're not bad at 2. The point is, they have a lot of maps in their wheelhouse, and they have a lot of great strategies overall. I like what I'm seeing from them, but hey, it is what it is. I was impressed by their competition tonight of Rated R as well. Let's go and take our look at our standings, see how that ended up unfolding. And you know what? At the top, you got your 4 top teams. You got Fire and Ice, you got Gods, you have Hive, you have Rated R. Well done to those 4 teams. They played so well. A bit heartbreaking for Remedy, man. If they would have made this bracket theirs, they could have been with them, but they fell a bit short.
They do fall just 60 points short, but I mean, I don't know if we could have asked for much better. That's kind of the 4 teams that we saw consistently perform week in and week out, other than Remedy. I mean, always trying to make it either to the semis or the quarters. They were always there in the mix of things. So I'm actually really happy. We got 2 teams. Hive ends up have an early exit this week, but Fire and Ice, they come out on fire in those first 2 weeks, win them both. They know that they're solidified. they take the week off. The other teams, though, continue to fight forward. I really think we got kind of the cream of the crop moving forward already with these 4 teams. I know we still got that LCQ to kind of solidify out 2 more teams, but I love what we're seeing already with these 4. And we got 3 great orgs and 4 great rosters.